everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my very first makeup tutorial. I kind of went with a look that I've done quite a few times in the past, and it's something that when I was experimenting with color for the first time, I went for more mauve and purple tones. It's something that I know well, and I know I've done it like 100 times. I'm going to do that today for you guys in a tutorial. If you're interested in learning how I came up with this look right here, then please continue watching. Now, the very first thing I always start with, since it's gonna be more of a full glam look today, I wanna make sure that the base of my makeup is gonna apply really well and really flawlessly. I always start off with a primer, and I never realized how important it was until I started using it, and it really makes a difference on how your skin feels, on the finish of your skin, of how it looks. So my favorite primer is the Benefit Pore Freshenal Primer, and it looks like this. And I love getting the mini size because it's so easy to travel with, and honestly, even the mini size, it lasts me so long because a little goes a long way for primer. And I like to just dab it in areas that I know where I have pores. It's gonna really just minimize the look of the pores, and it's gonna smooth everything out. And the reason why I love this primer is because it gives the most amazing smooth silicone finish to your skin. Like, my skin just feels like silicone. So next I'm gonna go in, usually you can see like dark circles that I have under my eyes. What I've been using lately and I found really works well is by Cover FX. It's the color corrector, and it's in the color Brick. It comes in a little bullet kind of container like this. It's like this orangey tone, and it works really well to hide any darkness, especially for dark circles. So I'll just go like this. So it looks really funny at first because it looks like I'm putting like orange lipstick on my face, but I promise you it really helps to cancel out some of that grayness, because a lot of times if I just go in with concealer, I'll still get like a gray peeking through, and I hate when that happens. So I usually just dab it out with my finger. So at first it's gonna look really orange, but don't be afraid of that. I like to do foundation first before concealer, because foundation will kind of set the base, and then my concealer, it will also help to highlight the area over my foundation. I just got this new foundation, and it's the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I'm really excited to use it because it's supposed to be really good for dry skin. I have really dry skin, so it's supposed to be hydrating. This is in the color Light Beige. It's medium to full coverage. The packaging is awesome. It looks really pretty. It has like this matte glass finish to the bottle, and then I love that it has like this little pump here. So I'll usually just pump a bit on the back of my hand, probably like just even one pump. What I like to do sometimes is, if I want more of like a dewy finish, I'll mix the foundation with the Farsali Unicorn Essence. It's like the skin oil. So what it does is I feel like it makes the foundation application like really smooth. So I've just mixed it around on my hand there, a few drops, and I'm gonna just dab it on my face, on the areas and on my neck, because lately my neck has been so discolored. I feel like my neck is a lot darker than the skin on my face, and only recently I started realizing that I'm applying SPF on my face, but I'm not applying SPF on my neck, and I think that's why my neck is just like darker than my face. So now I've thankfully started putting SPF on my neck as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just dab it out with a beauty sponge. This is already damp, so I've already damped it from before. Wet it. I've wet it from before, so it's only damp. I've squeezed out the excess water. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending it out. I'm not gonna put the foundation around my eyes because I'm gonna go in with the concealer in those areas, and I don't want too much product. So far, I really like it. It's blending out really nice. It doesn't even look like foundation really. It just looks like, you know, almost like my skin. Ever since I started using this concealer, and I'm sure many of you have heard it already, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. The finish on this concealer is just amazing. It is a full coverage concealer, so if you want more of a light coverage finish, and if you're not doing a full makeup look, I don't think I would recommend it. One and only Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is the best concealer I've come across so far. My shade, I'm in the shade light medium. And again, with this, a little goes a long way. I feel like this concealer could last me like a really long time just because how little, I mean, I just put 2 dabs like that, and a little bit here, and a little bit here wherever I want to highlight. I usually like to just take my finger and blend it out. And when I blend it out with my fingers, it just blends out really smooth. Can you guys see how that just totally covered the dark circles, and this whole, my whole under eye area looks so lifted. Same thing on the other side. I'm just gonna add a tiny more to give it a more lifted look right at where the trough, is it trough? Or that little indentation where you get for dark circles, so it gives a more lifted look. So it looks super, like it's totally covered the dark circles. I don't see any grayness peeking through, and it's exactly what I want. Now before I set the under eye, I'm gonna put on any other cream makeup that I'm gonna put on, apply it now before I put any powder. Sometimes if I'm going for a full glam look, what I usually try to use is a contour stick if I want more of a contoured look. So here I have the Smashbox, just called the Contour Smashbox Step-by-Step Contour Stick. Just in a really nice like contour color like this. And I'll usually just go kind of like along, starting from up here, along right around where my ear is, a little bit down like that. Just a little bit, not too far to the front because I'm not gonna add bronzer there. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just right under my cheekbone. So I try to make the lines as close to the center as possible, and it's gonna give the appearance of your nose being more slim right at the high point of your nose. Go ahead and just blend that out with my beauty blender. I'm gonna just go back in here lightly with the beauty blender to make sure I get rid of all the creases, and then we're gonna set it with the powder. I'm not gonna put too much powder because I've been finding that if I put too much powder, it ends up caking, and because I have really dry skin in my under eyes, it can end up looking cakey. So I put a small amount, but not too small, like just the right amount, because I still wanna bake a bit, but not too much bake. Just gonna make sure we got all the creases out. The OG of setting powders, it's the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This setting powder is a dream. So I'm just gonna dab around my eye like this once. It'll look really white here, but that's because we're just baking a bit, not too much though. And then on the top as well. And I'll just set this area because I do get oily over the day in my T-zone a bit. I'm using kind of like a dabbing and slight twirl motion. So I just dab it there. I don't take it fully off. I let some just sit on the skin. Now that we have the powder, it's just gonna sit there. We're gonna let it sit, let it bake for a little while. I usually go ahead and start with my eye makeup after that. So it works well because the powder is gonna help prevent fallout from sticking there as well. And we're gonna use some dark shades today. They're gonna be like some mauve tones. And one of my favorite mini palettes by Huda Beauty is the Mauve Obsessions palette. From all the palettes I've used so far, I find that Huda Beauty palettes, the payoff of the pigment of the colors in her palettes is amazing. And it's so easy to blend, like I almost don't even need to blend. It's almost like just blending on its own. So it's really easy to work with. Her colors are like exactly like as soon as you put the brush there, it will pick up the pigment, and wherever you place the brush, it's like bam, it's like it's there. So it's like whatever you pick up, whatever you put on, that's what you're gonna get. So I feel like it's very true to what is shown in her palette and how it will end up looking on your skin. So the inside of the palette, it looks like this. There's 3 shimmer shades, and there's a few matte shades and some transition shades as well. I'm gonna start with these 2 shades right here to put in the crease. I'm gonna bring it all the way to the inside, just right along the crease. And I'm using the Sigma. This is one of my favorite blending brushes. It's the Sigma E25 blending brush. And it has like a tapered end like this. It's super soft. This is one of the best blending brushes I've ever used. So I'm gonna go in with like a flat brush like this because it's quite stiff, so I can just kind of stamp the dark color where I want it and it won't go flying everywhere. Actually, I might mix two. I'm gonna use this shade here as well as this shade up here. So this is a really pretty red, like wine-ish color, and then this color up here is like a dark mauve. So I'm gonna blow off the excess because these colors, they come on really pigmented. I'm gonna just put it in the outer corner of my eye. And I like when it's a little bit messy, not too exact, like any sharp lines. And then for the inner corner of the eye till about halfway on the lid, we're gonna put the shimmer shade. I'm gonna mix this one and this one as well. This has a more purpley tone, and I'm gonna mix this one as well. It's a brighter tone. Usually for the shimmer shades, I'll just go in like with my finger and just pat it on. I find that that works the best. And just stamp it on. I'm gonna put the purpley one more towards the center, the lighter one more towards the inner corner. Oh my god, it's so nice. It's just like so shimmery. I'm not gonna put anything on, just blend it out. Just make sure everything is seamlessly blended. I'm gonna take it a little bit out here towards the tail end of my eyebrow. Huda Beauty honestly has like the best, and there's hardly like, can you guys see? There's like not even any fallout. There's no fallout. The color, the pigment is there. It's blending like seamlessly. Like, it's awesome. Now we're gonna go in with the lower lash line and do the same thing. So I'm gonna take more of like a pencil brush. This brush is by Morphe, and it's just a pencil brush. It has like a tip like this. It's kind of a stiff tip, so you can do like more precision application. So I like to use that for my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with the transition shades that we started off with. So these two shades right here, and kind of just go across the whole lash line, but more towards like the inner corner area. This one here for the, actually no, I'll use this one here for the lower lash line to outline right at the corner B. NYX Professional Makeup, it's the matte liquid liner, and it looks like this, and it has a brush tip. So I feel like with eyeliners, you're either a brush tip girl or you're a felt tip girl. I'm definitely a brush tip girl. I feel like that it's so much easier and it's smoother. I have much more control over a brush tip, but I mean, I have so many friends who use a felt tip and they love it. Like, they can't even use a brush tip. They find the brush tip too messy. Use whatever works for you. I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyeliner, and I'll be right back. Now, I've got the eyeliner on. I'm gonna put the mascara on as well. The mascara I'm using is the Bad Gal Bang by Benefit Cosmetics. This mascara is awesome. Like, it totally separates my lashes. I feel like it coats every single one of my lashes, and it's just like, boom. I really like this mascara, and I only, even just with one application, it's intense, so it's great. I want to clean up a little bit along the edges here, so I'm going to get some more of that baking powder. I'm going to use my beauty sponge and just get a little bit of that translucent powder. I'm just going to put it on the sponge like that. Bronzer is honestly my favorite part. For the longest time, I used to be so scared of bronzer because I thought, why would I want to make myself more tan when my skin already has a nice natural tan to it? And I realized that bronzer actually makes a really big difference. And I realize now when I put bronzer on versus pictures where I don't have bronzer on, my face looks so flat. But if I do have bronzer on, my face has so much more dimension. It looks more like sculpted. Like it gives a really nice dimension to anyone's face. Anyone who's scared of bronzer, don't be scared of bronzer. Even if you have tan skin like me, go ahead and wear the bronzer. It's gonna really make a difference on how much dimension your face has. And now I'm just gonna go over that same area with the bronzer, and my favorite bronzer, it's by Too Faced, the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. There is chocolate in the ingredients. It smells like chocolate. It's every girl's heaven. Why wouldn't you want it? So I use, this is actually a Sephora brush, which I really like. It's either called the mineral powder brush, but I think recently they changed the name and it's called, I think I don't know. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description box below. I think it's called like the all-rounder brush, or like the multitasking brush, I think. This brush, I know for bronzer, a lot of people like to use the big fluffy powder brushes, but I feel like this is perfect because it just applies the bronzer really well. It applies it perfectly, like perfectly blended. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the bronzer and then basically just put it right where my cheekbones are, like right in that area there. You see that versus like this side? I mean, it has a little bit of that contour there, but the bronzer just warms up your face like perfectly. Because my forehead is not that big, I'm not gonna bring it all the way up to my forehead, but just around corner parts of my forehead, like where the sun would naturally hit your face, and then along my chin here as well. You guys see how it's created like this outline around my face? So it's like warm around these edges, but it's highlighted in the center, like where the T-zone is. Because it's a little bit lighter, I'm gonna just kind of go on the same area where I've contoured my nose. I'm gonna use a small precision brush for that. You want to make sure that you don't go too crazy with the nose contour, otherwise your nose will look really brown and muddy. But it's okay because we're still going to wipe off the bake. Speaking of bake, let's wipe off the bake. I'm going to use the same brush and just with a very light hand, just like this, wipe off all the excess powder. Like there's no creasing on my under eyes. The Shape Tape concealer, honestly, it's the best. It's perfect. It's basically foolproof. I'll do my eyebrows off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, my brows are done. My eyebrows are already they're pretty thick, so I don't need to fill in much, but I have some bald areas that I usually just fill in, and I just outline the top and the bottom. And if you guys want a more detailed tutorial on how I do my brows, I recently just did a video on how I draw feathered brows, and I can do another one just to show you how I draw contoured brows. My favorite brow products that I use are definitely Benefit Cosmetics. Their products are so easy. They make doing your brows like just almost like foolproof. What have we got left? Oh, how could I forget? Blush. I love blush. And my favorite, I think I've said favorite like 100 times in this video, but honestly, I'm using all my favorite products, so whatever. My favorite brush that I use for blush is the Sigma brush. It's the Sigma F40. It's a large angled contour brush. It's kind of like this. It's awesome. Honestly, the Sigma brushes are they're amazing. If you don't have this brush for blush, I highly suggest that you get this brush for your blush. It applies like perfectly, and because it's angled, it just adds to that more contoured look. My favorite blush that I've been using so far, it's by Tarte. It's the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. The color is like this, so you can see how much I love it. I've used it so much, I've already hit pan, so I'm gonna need a new one soon. But if you guys have any favorite blushes, I'm always up for trying new blushes. Just leave it in the comments section down below. So I'll just swirl it around in there just a bit. The payoff of the pigment of this also is very good, so it comes right on. So I'm just gonna put some in the apples of my cheeks like that. Like you guys can see, like it's already so pink. I didn't need to do a lot of blending because of the bronzer that I have on, and the rest, it just meets with the bronzer like perfectly. It's where the blush and the bronzer meet, is like your entire contour of the cheek, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna put on a setting spray before I do highlight, just because it's gonna make the highlight just bam. It's gonna make the highlight like times 100. That's actually a really good tip for anyone who wants to know how to make their highlight really pop and really stand out. Just spray your face with setting spray first, and then wait a few minutes and then apply your highlight. Mario Badescu, I think. Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. I'm almost finished this as well. You guys can see how much I use it. I use this on a daily basis, even when I'm not doing a full face makeup, because I have dry skin. It keeps my skin so hydrated and it gives such a good finish just on my normal skin. So the setting spray is gonna just melt everything together and it makes everything just come together really nicely. The setting spray has kind of seeped into my skin and it's hydrated the skin. So when I apply the highlight, it's gonna like really pop. I'm gonna be using the Tarteist Pro Glow To Go palette. There's 2 highlight shades and there's 1 contour shade. I'm gonna be using the highlight shade that's up here. The middle one is a bit more gold tone, and then the contour shade is at the bottom. I really love the Real Technique setting brush for highlights. I know a lot of people use that fan brush. I have that here as well, but I guess sometimes I use it, but for some reason I love this brush for putting highlight. It's just like so precise and it puts it exactly where I want it to go. And I'm gonna put it like right on the high points of my cheek. Look at that, it's like times 10. It's like 10-fold, whatever they say. It's like times 100. That's insane. That's insane. Look at that, pop. And I'm gonna use a more smaller precision brush like this to highlight under my brow. It gives a more contoured look to your eyebrows as well. I'll go like a small line here and then just a dot on the tip of my nose and just press it out. And then I'm gonna go in just with my pinky finger and just highlight the inner corner of my eyes like that. I love this. Okay, it looks a little too strong. Okay, I'm gonna try to take my powder brush and try to like blend out some of that highlight, or I'll go in with my beauty blender just so it's not as strong. I don't even mind if it's strong, because who doesn't like a strong highlight? And I'm gonna lightly, just to clean up this area here, go in with some setting powder like that. Oh, another thing I really like to highlight are these in the middle of your lip, like the high points of your lip. What are these called again? I totally forgot what it's called. Well, you know what I mean. And just go like that. It makes your lips look a lot more full and it gives like a curvy effect. And we don't need to leave that powder there for too long. We can just, with a light hand, just wipe it away like this. It gives a more like contoured cheekbone here. I totally forgot. I think I can put lashes on today since we're using Huda Beauty palette. Let's put on some Huda Beauty lashes. These lashes are so bomb. Like, they just make so much of a difference. Why does that happen to me? Why did that happen to me? Okay, I'm gonna fix that later. Don't worry about this mascara that just got on my cheek. We're not gonna touch it until it dries. And I'm just gonna change my shirt and then I'll be right back. So now I've put on my shirt. So this is the top I'm gonna wear. I might do a bold lip. Even though my eyes are pretty bold, I might still do a bold lip. I don't know if this is dry yet. We'll just take it off at the end. Don't worry about that, Mark. It's actually by Sephora. I got this. It's a cream lip stain. It's in the number 16. I think the color is called Raspberry Sorbet. It looks like this. These actually have really good payoff. A lot like a lot of the other liquid lips that I've been using lately. But the key to applying a liquid lip is honestly to prep your lip. I usually take some lip balm, and I have this one here by Fresh. And I'll just dab it lightly on my lips. And then I'll go in with the liquid lip after. That's a really bold lip, but I really like this look. Before it dries, I'm gonna just line around the edges. I really like this color even on its own. I would just wear it like this as well. But sometimes just to give a little more of an ombre look, I'll mix it in with another lipstick. So I have this by Marc Jacobs in the color Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's the color 216. So I'm gonna just put that towards the center of my lips. And just dab it out. Here's a close-up look. I think it's about time to wipe this off. This is like my first makeup tutorial and this is what's happening to me. Well, it looks like it's kind of coming off. Okay, that looks good. It looks fine. Don't worry, we got it under control. It looks fine. I'm gonna go in with that powder brush again and just lightly dab away. And then, because we don't want to compromise on our highlight, go in back in with that highlight and just apply it. There we go. You would never even notice something was there. All right, guys, the absolute last step for any full glam makeup application is your setting spray. Honestly, the best setting spray is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. As soon as you put this, it gives such a nice finish. It gives a glowy look. Your makeup does not move. This foundation literally looks like my skin. I'm giving it a really positive review. It's not caking anywhere. It's not too heavy. It doesn't even feel like I have anything on my face. It feels really light. I would highly recommend this foundation. And I'm just gonna spray the setting spray, shake well. And that is the finished look, my friends. Take my hair out. I almost forgot one last step. I always like to line the inner waterline of my eyes with a nude or some kind of liner. Sometimes a color if I have a color, but for today's look, the main focus is for like the mauve eyeshadow and the dark bold lip. And the tip for applying that is that if you've already applied like all your makeup and you don't want to kind of put your fingers on your face, just use that same powder brush, the one that you use for setting or any kind of powder brush, and you just place it here, slightly pull the skin down here. That way it won't mess up any of the existing makeup that's there already. Don't forget to leave a comment down below in the comment section just to let me know what you think of this look. I'll try to list all the products that I use in the description box down below. If there's anything else that you guys like to see in some YouTube videos or tutorials, feel free to let me know as well. Hope you enjoy the video.